The stars were calm that day. No war, no storm, just silence across the galaxy. Then, without warning, the silence broke. Across thousands of planets, space stations, and colonies, every screen turned black, from the high towers of the Syrian Empire to the floating cities of the Valari system. People froze. Work stopped, ships halted, markets shut down. A single message appeared on all screens, written in perfect galactic standard by order of the Galactic Council. Earth is no longer part of the Galactic Union. Gasps, confusion, fear. People asked, what did Earth do? But the Council gave no answer. The live broadcast showed all 27 Council leaders sitting around the giant crystal table. Their faces were cold, serious. No debates, no discussions. Only one final vote, all hands raised. One decision, one silent verdict. Earth was banished. Earth received the message seconds later. The United Earth Command sat in silence. No one moved, no one spoke. Admiral Freya Kane stared at the words on the screen, her jaw tight. Well, she said softly, they've made their move. Earth was now alone. No trade, no contact. All Earth ambassadors were sent back. All human colonies across Council space were forced to shut down. Some were even attacked. The galaxy had turned its back on humanity. But Earth did not cry. Earth remembered. Admiral Freya stood before the Global Council on Earth the next day. They fear us, she said. They fear what we might become, not because we attacked, but because we grew stronger, faster, and smarter than they expected. The room was full of world leaders, scientists, military officers, engineers, all angry, all betrayed. We begged to be equals, Freya continued. They saw us as a threat. Then she spoke the words that would change human history. If the stars don't want us, we'll build our own sky. For the next 10 years, Earth went quiet, very quiet. No signals, no ships, no travel. To the rest of the galaxy, it looked like Earth had accepted defeat. But in the shadows, Earth was working harder than ever. They moved their greatest minds underground. Deep beneath mountains and oceans, they built hidden cities called vaults. Each vault had a special task wand for weapons, one for energy, one for AI, and one for deep space engineering. Children were trained not just to read and write, but to code, build, and survive. In orbit, Earth created something the Council never saw coming. The Black Zone, a no-signal region filled with stealth fields, decoys, and secret construction zones. Inside it, Earth built its fleet. But this was no normal fleet. These ships were designed for silence, for speed, for destruction. Each one was painted black. No names, no lights, no sound. Just power, they called it. The Ghost Fleet. Meanwhile, in the rest of the galaxy, Earth was forgotten. New species joined the Galactic Council. Old enemies made peace. Trade routes grew. Peace returned. But some alien empires still wondered. Why did the Council ban Earth? Were they really dangerous? The Council always gave the same answer. Earth was unstable. It was for the safety of the galaxy. And most believed them. Until the sign started. A scout ship disappeared near the dead zone. A research station in the dark belt sent a panic signal. In silence, a patrol cruiser chased a strange black shape, then vanished without a trace. Rumors began to spread. Earth is back. They never stopped building. They're watching us, but the Council laughed. Ghost stories, they said. Fairy tales. They had no idea how wrong they were. Back on Earth, Admiral Freya stood inside Vault Tanin, the command center of the Ghost Fleet. Before her stood dozens of commanders in dark armor, faces covered. Are we ready? She asked. A voice answered from behind a visor. The fleet waits for your signal. Freya looked at the large star map on the wall. Each red dot marked a system where Earth had been betrayed. Each blue dot showed Earth's hidden bases. Now awake, she placed her hand on the table. Let them believe we are weak, she said. Let them forget us. Then she whispered, because the next time they see us, it will be too late. Far away, on the galactic capital planet, the Council held a secret meeting. One member spoke nervously. Should we check on Earth? It's been too long. Another said, if they were planning something, we'd know by now. But the oldest member, High Elder Sorvak, frowned. We banished them, he said. And in silence, monsters are born. The stars were calm again. But not for long. Earth had been silent now. It was time to speak with fire. It started with whispers. A cargo ship, flying near the edge of council space, sent a strange report. The crew said they saw a dark object moving, faster than any known ship. It had no lights, no signal, just a black shape in the void. Then the ship disappeared. No distress call, no wreckage, nothing. At first, no one believed it. Ships got lost in deep space all the time, but then it happened again and again. In just 1 month, 5 ships vanished. All in the same region here, the old trade route once connected to Earth. The Galactic Patrol sent scouts. Only one came back, and his message was terrifying. They're out there, watching, hunting. He was found drifting in an escape pod, frozen. In fear, he couldn't speak clearly. He just kept repeating the same words. Eyes in the dark, ships with no heat. They never missed. The council received the report, but they hid it from the public. They called it a radiation event. A lie? Said they saw black ships moving without sound. A bounty hunter swore he saw a human symbol on a silent cruiser just before it vanished into the shadows. A child on a colony world drew a picture. A large black triangle covering the sky. She said, it was watching us. On Earth, inside Vault 9, Admiral Freya watched the data. Every missing ship. Every reaction. Every piece of panic. She didn't smile. This wasn't a game. It was a warning phase. One complete, said Commander Aaron, standing beside her. The galaxy is waking up. Freya nodded. Let them feel fear, just a little. Let them remember what they lost when they pushed us away. She turned to the screen showing the Ghost Fleet. Ships moved in total silence, hundreds of them, hidden behind moons, asteroids, cloaked in black energy. They could strike any time, but they did not. Back in the galactic capital, things were changing. Security increased around major stations. All patrol ships were doubled. People began asking questions. Is Earth back? Did we make a mistake? But the council said nothing, until one night, the council's private communication network received a signal. It came from deep space, a place they had marked as dead. No life, no ships, just emptiness. The signal was short, just one word, written in galactic standard, watch. Then came a video file. In the video, a council fleet was seen approaching a silent asteroid belt. 20 powerful ships, shields up, weapons ready. They fired into the belt, thinking it was hiding a rebel base. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the stars changed dot from behind the asteroids. Dozens of black ships appeared. They made no sound, no heat, no warning. In seconds, the council fleet was gone, destroyed with perfect aim, 1 shot per ship. No misses. Then the black ships vanished. At the end of the video, the screen faded to black. 3 words appeared. We are back. Panic spread like wildfire. The video was leaked. People across the galaxy watched in silence. The ships had no flags, no names, but everyone knew it was Earth. The council tried to control the fear. They called the video fake, but no one believed them. Too many signs, too. Many disappearances. The galaxy had pushed Earth away now. Earth was returning on a space station in the Zalran system. A young technician named Jiro sat at his console, staring at the ship logs. Something strange was happening, all across nearby systems. Old Earth satellites long thought to be dead were turning back on dot and sending data dot to whom, nobody knew. He looked up at his commander. Sir, I think they've been watching us the whole time. Back on Earth, inside a deep underground control room, engineers were activating old systems, satellites, listening posts, AI networks built during Earth's silent years. Admiral Freya stood in the center. Let them see shadows, she said. Let them fear the dark again. Meanwhile, bounty hunters, pirates, and smugglers began avoiding old Earth sectors. Some claimed they saw black drones scanning ships. Others said they heard voices in their come-soft human voices before, being warned to turn around. One pirate group tried to attack a silent relay station marked with the old Earth flag. They were never seen again. Only their ship returned, drifting, burned, empty inside the council. Chaos was growing, members argued. Factions broke apart. Some wanted to reach out to Earth and talk. Others wanted to send another fleet. But High Elder Sorvak stood and raised his voice. Do not provoke them. We banished them once, and in the dark. They have become something else, but his words came too late. Earth had already entered Phase 2 in a far-off system. A council base received a strange signal, not an attack, not a message, just a symbol. A human handprint, burning in red dot, the old sign of Earth's military force. Under it, 2 words, "We remember." The galaxy thought Earth was dead, forgotten, silent, but now the shadows whispered a new truth. Earth was never gone. They were just waiting. The Galactic Council met in secret. For the first time in 50 years, they were afraid. A mysterious fleet had destroyed one of their armadas. Alien colonies were reporting. Strange black ships. People across the galaxy were whispering one name. Again, Earth, but still, some council leaders did not believe. They don't have the power, one shouted. They were silent for decades, said another dot, but then the lights flickered. Every screen inside the council's grand hall turned black. Static filled the air, then a voice spoke. Clear, calm, human. You exiled us, you erased us, you forgot us, but we never forgot you. On the screens, a new video began to play. It showed a planet in council territory. A military base stood in the middle of a desert, full of ships and weapons. The video had no sound, just footage. A black ship entered the sky. It moved like a shadow, smooth, almost invisible. The base opened fire. Hundreds of weapons lit up the sky, but the black ship didn't stop in one smooth move. It fired a single blast. The entire base vanished in light. When the smoke cleared, only ashes remained. No damage to the nearby cities. No civilians harmed, only the military base completely gone. Then the screen faded to black dot. One message appeared. We remember. Gasps filled the council hall. Panic spread like a virus. One council member stood up. That was a warning. They could have destroyed the whole planet, but they didn't. Another said, they're showing control. Precision. High Elder Sorvak, the oldest leader, said in a low voice, "This is not war. This is a message." The far reaches of space. Ships began pulling back from Earth sectors. Merchants canceled routes. Governments raised alerts. Everyone had the same question. What does Earth want? But no one had the answer. Inside Voltanine, on Earth, Admiral Freya stood before the Ghost Fleet Command. She looked at a large digital map of the galaxy. Red dots showed council bases, blue dots showed human activity, and new gold dots appeared systems that had quietly begun sending messages to Earth. Some alien species were curious. Others were afraid of the Council. They wanted protection. They wanted Earth's help. Freya turned to her officers. "They silenced us once," she said. "Now we speak through fire." Commander Iran stepped forward. "Should we strike again?" Freya shook her head. "No, not yet. We've warned them. Let the fear grow." Meanwhile, in a council-controlled city on the planet Talvera, strange things began happening. A small ship entered orbit, completely black. No ID, no signal. It hovered over a council outpost, but it did not attack. Instead, it dropped a metal pod. The pod hit the ground softly. It opened. Inside was a letter, written in Galactic Standard. It read, "We do not want war, but we are no longer weak. If you come for us again, we will end it before it begins." Signed, the Children of Earth. News of the pod spread fast. Aliens gathered around the site. Some cheered, others panicked. The people were divided. Some still saw Earth as a threat, but others saw hope. "Maybe they will stop the Council's power," said one merchant. "They were peaceful once." "Maybe they still are," said another. But one thing was clear. The galaxy was no longer under one voice. Fear had opened cracks in the Council's rule. Inside the council hall, leaders screamed at each other. Some wanted to attack Earth now. Others said it was too late. They know our weak points. They've been watching for years. We should have never exiled them. But no one could agree. Their control was slipping, and Earth hadn't even shown its full strength that night. Across 10 major council planets, people received a signal. On their personal devices, it came from an unknown source. A short video, black screen, a voice. "Your leaders feared our growth, so they silenced us. But from the silence, we built something greater." Then the screen changed. It showed Earth, but not the Earth. They remembered. Gigantic space stations floated around it. Dark fleets circled the planet. A massive structure sat on the moon, a giant AI hub, glowing with blue light. Then the voice returned. "We offer peace, but we are ready for war." The video ended. People stared at their screens. No one moved. Some cried, some cheered, others just whispered one word: Earth. In a small mining colony near the Orion Edge, a young alien boy named Darrow looked at the stars. His father was afraid. He remembered the old Earth stories, violent, emotional, dangerous. But Darrow didn't feel fear. He felt wonder. "What if they're not monsters?" he asked. His father said nothing. But deep inside, he too wondered. What if Earth had changed? Back in Vault 9, Admiral Freya stood alone, looking at a photo. It was old, taken before Earth was exiled. It showed a human diplomat shaking hands with an alien leader. Peace. Hope. She whispered. "We were meant to be part of something bigger." Then she looked at the fleet. "But if they fear us, we'll become something they can never control." The warning was sent. Now the galaxy had a choice. Listen, or face the storm that Earth was holding back. The galaxy thought it knew every type of ship. Fast fighters, heavy battleships, stealth cruisers, every model, every name, every engine. But nothing had prepared them for this. It started in the Vilex system. A council shipyard, one of the largest in the galaxy, lost contact for exactly 9 minutes. Just 9. When backup arrived, they found the shipyard empty. No damage, no fire, no alarms, just silence. Dozens of warships had vanished, gone. Without a single trace, the workers were alive. But confused, they said they saw black shapes moving through space, quiet, smooth, cold. Then the lights went out, and when they came back, everything was gone. The council called it a technical error. But the truth spread fast. Whispers of a fleet that moved like ghosts, invisible, silent, deadly. "They strike in the dark," one survivor said. "And when they leave, only space remains." The galaxy gave it a name: the Ghost Fleet in the shadows of space. Beyond known maps and trade routes, the fleet waited, hundreds of ships, all black, each one shaped for speed and silence. No windows, no lights, only smooth metal and deadly weapons. Some ships were massive like flying cities. Others were small and fast like hunters. Each ship had one purpose: control the stars without being seen. Inside Vault 9, Admiral Freya stood before a giant window. Through it, she watched the Ghost Fleet move in formation. They didn't need orders. The AI systems on board were smarter, faster, and more precise than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Each ship had a name, not numbers, names. New Berlin, Mumbai's Cape Zero, Luna's Claw. They were named after cities lost. During Earth's exile, symbols of pain turned into power. Commander Ron walked beside her. "We could take 10 systems in one night," he said. Freya nodded. "But we won't." He looked confused. "Why not?" "Because we don't want to rule through fear," she said. "We want them to understand who we are now, what we became." Across the galaxy, stations reported strange malfunctions. Cameras stopped working. Security drones shut down. Ships drifted off course without reason. But it wasn't an accident. It was Earth's Ghost Fleet, testing every system, mapping weaknesses, tracking power levels, watching responses, and no one saw them, not even once. One night, on the edge of the Drell system, a council convoy was moving through space. 10 large cargo ships guarded by war cruisers. Suddenly, the lead cruiser stopped. Its lights flickered. Its engines failed. Then, it disappeared from the radar. Seconds later, 2 more ships vanished. The crew inside the cargo ships panicked. They fired blindly into space. Nothing. Then came the message on all channels in every language: "Leave this space, Earth watches." The message ended. The rest of the convoy turned around and fled. They didn't even try to fight. They knew the Ghost Fleet was near. The council was losing control. Some members still refused to admit it. This is just tech tricks. Earth is bluffing. But others had seen the data. Dozens of their systems had been touched. No alarms, no alarms, no sound, just silence. High Elder Sorvak finally spoke. "We did not just banish Earth, we pushed them into the dark, and that darkness gave birth to something terrifying. The Outer Rim, a small rebel group once hunted by the Council, received a strange visitor. A black drone landed outside their hideout. It dropped a small device cube. Inside it was data, Council weaknesses, ship layouts, and secret codes. No name, no message, but the rebels knew Earth was choosing sides, and it wasn't with the Council inside Vault 9. The Ghost Fleet stood ready. Admiral Freya looked at a hologram of the galaxy. Dozens of Council fleets, thousands of worlds, and one signal. Waiting to be sent, Commander Aaron said. We could cripple their command centers. Take out their eyes and ears, Freya replied. No, not yet. Let them sweat. Let them feel hunted. She turned toward the command console. Then she pressed a button. One signal, one command. Across space, every ghost ship moved silently into new positions. They surrounded 5 Council planets. They did not fire. They did not speak. They simply arrived and waited. On those 5 planets. Night fell early. The skies were filled with dark shapes. No one knew what they were. Children pointed. Adults panicked. The military raised shields, but nothing happened. The ships hovered silently, watching. Each message appeared on every screen. We see you. We remember you. We are not here to destroy, unless you force us. Then the ships vanished into the stars, like ghosts. The galaxy froze. No one had ever seen such power. Used with such control, the Council, once proud and mighty, now sat in fear because they finally understood Earth wasn't attacking Earth, was warning, and the Ghost Fleet was just the beginning. The galaxy was holding its breath. Earth had not attacked, but its Ghost Fleet had appeared above Council planets, hovered without firing, and vanished like shadows in the night. People were terrified, not because of what Earth did, but because of what it could. Duan chose not to. Across the stars, rumors spread, whispers of a new kind of power. Some said Earth now had soldiers who never slept. Others believed humans had built machines that could think like gods. One message was clear. Earth had become something else, something the galaxy didn't understand. And that made it even more dangerous. On the Council capital world, deep inside a secret chamber, High Elder Sorvak listened to his advisors argue. We must strike first. No, we must send a peace offer. They'll never forgive us. Sorvak raised his hand. The room went silent. He looked tired, older. They've changed, he said softly, but we don't know how much. He turned to the large screen behind him. A symbol flickered, an old Earthmark, now glowing red. A new signal had been received. Not from a ship, not from a satellite, but from the core of an old Council data hub 1 that was supposed to be secure. The message was short. Phase 3 begins. Far across space, on the dark side of Jupiter, something massive was rising, hidden under ice and rock inside a hollow moon. An enormous hangar door slowly opened. From it, hundreds, maybe thousands of shapes moved into the void. Not ships, not drones, not machines, but something else, silent, fast, deadly. Each one moved like a shadow, without noise or heat. Each one had a human mind behind it, but no human body. They were Earth's answer to exile back in Vault 9. Admiral Freya stood before a tall platform. On it stood a figure over 2 meters tall, armor black, face covered, body made of metal and muscle. But its eyes glowed blue, human eyes. The figure turned to her and saluted. It spoke in a calm, deep voice. Unit 7 reporting, ready for mission. Freya nodded. Good, the galaxy is watching. Behind the figure, more stepped forward, hundreds of them, some with built-in wings, some built for space combat, others made for stealth. These were not robots, these were the silent army. Human minds connected to advanced bodies trained for war, built for silence. Each one a soldier, each one unbreakable. Each one made from the pain of exile. The Council didn't know yet, but they would soon in a quiet colony on the edge of the Zerka system. A distress signal went out. Pirates had invaded. The Council ignored it. They had more important problems. But someone else answered. The colony's people saw strange black pods fall from the sky. Out of them stepped the silent army. 10 warriors. No words, just action. In less than 5 minutes, the pirates were defeated. Every colonist was safe. When the Council finally sent help, the job was already done, and the warriors were gone. Only one thing was left behind, a small flag. Earth's flag. This became the first public appearance of the Silent Army. People across the galaxy were shocked. They saved us. They never asked for reward. They came and vanished. Alien worlds who had feared Earth for years now saw something new. Hope inside the council. Fear turned to anger. We can't allow them to become heroes. They are gaining followers. But Sorvak knew the truth. They are already heroes, he said, and we made them this way. On a council-lined world called Valrian, protests broke out. Citizens demanded to break away from council rule. We want Earth's protection, they shouted. We want peace, not fear. Soon, more systems followed. 3 outer planets officially cut ties with the council and sent messages directly to Earth. They didn't want war. They wanted allies. Earth responded with one sentence: "We hear you." Back in Vault 9, Freya stood before a wall covered in stars. Each glowing dot was a system that now secretly supported Earth. She touched one marked Halen Prime. It used to be a council military world. Now it was building new spaceports for Earth. Commander Iran walked up beside her. "Everything is moving faster now." Freya nodded. "Yes, the more they fear us, the more others come to us." "Should we prepare the fleet?" he asked. Freya looked at the sky. "No, not yet. Let the army walk first. Let the council see what they built with their own fear." The Silent Army moved system by system. No destruction, no violence, just presence. They protected trade. Ships, they stopped slavers. They helped rebuild colonies destroyed during the council's wars. But never once did they ask for thanks. They just moved. Silently, like ghosts in the name of Earth. The council was falling apart. Old members resigned. New factions rose. Some begged to negotiate with Earth. Others wanted to strike first, even if it meant war. But it was already too late, because Earth had already entered every part of the galaxy net with war. But with influence, High Elder Sorvak stood alone in the dark council chamber. He watched a video of Earth's Silent Army rescuing civilians from a collapsed space station. No weapons, just strength, just courage and silence. He whispered to himself, "We feared monsters, but they became protectors." He closed his eyes, and now the stars follow them. The Galactic Council was breaking, not because of war, not because of invasion, but because of fear. In the capital world of Selnar, alarms rang day and night. Government buildings were locked. Military leaders didn't sleep. Why? Because Earth was everywhere, but nowhere at the same time. They had shown the Ghost Fleet. They had revealed the Silent Army, and now the galaxy was listening to Earth instead of the Council. On over 20 planets, people marched in protest. They no longer trusted their own leaders. Chants filled the streets. The Council lied. Earth remembers. Bring the protectors. In the past, Earth had been called a threat, but now, Earth's warriors were seen as heroes, saving colonies, stopping pirates, protecting the weak. All without asking for power, all without speaking a word. That silence was louder than the Council's speeches. Inside Vault 9, Admiral Freya stood with her officers around a glowing map of the galaxy. New systems had joined Earth's side, some openly, others in secret. A red glow marked Council space, but blue lights were spreading fast. "Look at them," said Commander Iran. "They're falling apart from the inside." Freya nodded. "We haven't fired a single shot," she said, "and still, they crumble." Meanwhile, inside the Council's most secure meeting chamber, High Elder Sorvak faced chaos. Some members shouted for war. Others begged for surrender. One leader even demanded Earth be brought into the Council again. "We need them now, the people. Want them? We are losing control." But Sorvak remained quiet. He stared at the screen before him. It showed footage from a Council prison station. Recently attacked, no alarms had triggered. No ships were seen, but every prisoner, those wrongly jailed by the Council, was freed, and every guard was unharmed. On the wall, a symbol was burned into the steel. A handprint, human, red, cold, that night. On a backwater planet named Uran 6, Council troops disappeared from a secret base. Their last transmission, static, and then a single sentence: "The darkness remembers your crimes." The galaxy was no longer asking questions. They knew Earth was watching, and Earth was choosing who deserved justice. Back on Earth, the Silent Army prepared for Phase 4. Inside their deep training halls, thousands of enhanced warriors lined up. Each wore black armor, each carried no flag, just the Earth symbol simple and bold. Freya stood before them. "No one saw our pain when they exiled us," she said, "but now they see what that pain created." She walked down the line of warriors. "Do not hate, do not destroy, unless you must. Let our silence speak louder than their screams." The army didn't cheer. They simply nodded. They understood. The council tried to respond. They sent fleets to systems near Earth's growing allies, but those fleets never arrived. They vanished. No battles, no wreckage, just silence. Some said Earth was using new weapons. Others believed Earth had mastered space itself, moving between stars without gates. The truth, Earth had planned everything for 40 years. While the council watched itself in mirrors, Earth watched everything. They had maps, codes, and backdoors into the council's systems. Even now, Earth could hear their meetings, and Earth said nothing. That silence drove the council mad. On the world of Drellin, a council governor stepped outside his palace to find it covered in strange marks. At first, he thought it was vandalism, but when he looked closer, his hands began to shake. Each mark was a name. Every name was a person he had secretly imprisoned, stolen from, or silenced. Earth knew, and now he knew. He was next. That same day, he disappeared. His palace was untouched, but his office screen showed one message: "We remember the forgotten." Across the stars, systems fell like dominoes. Small worlds no longer listened to council orders. Some turned off council beacons. Others raised Earth's flag. The galaxy had changed, and the council could no longer stop it. In a desperate move, council ships surrounded one of Earth's new allies' planet North. They warned the people, stop working with Earth or face punishment. But before a single weapon could fire, the sky turned dark. Dozens of ghost fleet ships appeared, silent, cold, watching. No shots fired, no words spoken, but the council fleet left immediately. They knew they had seconds to live. If Earth wanted it, inside the council's grand hall, High Elder Sorvak stood one last time. He spoke to the remaining members. "We tried to destroy Earth. We feared their fire, so we threw them into darkness. But in that darkness, they became stronger than we ever imagined." No one argued, because now the galaxy wasn't afraid of Earth's weapons. They were afraid of Earth's silence. They were afraid of what Earth would do next. On Earth, Admiral Freya watched stars blink on the galactic map. The council's great tower once stood tall above the stars. It was a symbol of power, a symbol of control. Now, it was surrounded by silence and Earth's ships. The last remaining council leaders sat in their chamber. Tired, afraid, confused. The galaxy was no longer listening to them. System after system had turned away. People no longer believed in council power. They believed in the shadow of Earth, and the shadow was growing. On the screens before them, Earth's fleet filled space, thousands of ships. Large, black, silent. No lights. No names, only presence. It wasn't a war fleet, it was a message. You are not in charge anymore. A young officer ran into the council chamber. "High Elder Sorvak, Earth has sent a communication." Sorvak raised his head. His voice was slow, calm. "Play it." The screen flickered. A video began. Admiral Freya appeared. She wore no medals, no smile, only calm silence behind her steel eyes. Her voice was strong, but not angry. "We gave you warnings. You ignored them. We saved your people. You called U.S. threats. We stayed in the shadows. You turned the galaxy against us." Then she leaned forward. "Now, your time is over." The screen turned black, and 3 words appeared. "Stand down peacefully." The council went silent. Then, panic. Some screamed for weapons. Some cried for help. One member even tried to run, but Sorvak stayed seated. His voice was almost a whisper. "They warned us, and now they have come." Outside, Earth's ghost fleet moved into position not to destroy, but to surround. Every system, every gate, every route in and out of council space, the galaxy watched, not with fear, but with hope, on dozens of planets. Citizens marched with Earth's flag, not forced, not paid, just thankful. The galaxy had seen enough pain, enough greed, enough silence from the council. Now, Earth's silence felt like protection. Inside Valtanine, Admiral Freya gave her final order. No ships will fire unless fired upon. We do not conquer, we correct. Commander Iran nodded. They will try to escape. Freya replied, then we show them. There's nowhere left to run. Back in the Council capital, escape ships launched, but one by one, they were stopped. Not destroyed, just disabled by black drones that moved faster than light. Each drone left a simple message on every ship's control panel. You will answer for what you've done. And then it happened. Earth's silent army landed on the capital planet. Not to invade, but to walk. Thousands of black-armored soldiers marched through the city. They passed people, shops, children, and they did nothing, just moved forward peacefully, but with purpose toward the Council Tower. People stepped out of their homes, watched in silence. Some cried, not in fear, but in relief. For years, they had lived under Council fear. Now, Earth had come. And Earth wasn't afraid. Inside the tower, High Elder Sorvak stood waiting. No weapons, no guards, just memory. He watched the silent army enter the chamber. Admiral Freya stepped in behind them. She looked at the old man. He did not. Kneel. He only said, we feared you would destroy us. Instead, you became more than we ever could. Freya replied, you taught us fear, so we learned how to walk through it. Then she raised her hand. A hologram appeared. It showed every crime the Council had hidden, every betrayal, every silenced planet, every world that cried for help and was ignored. Freya turned to the galaxy-wide broadcast system. To the people of the stars, your voice matters again. We don't rule, we rebuild. Then she said 5 words that ended the Council's power forever. The stars now speak freely. Across the galaxy, people cheered. Some wept, some sang. On planets where the Council once ruled through fear, people removed old banners and raised new ones, not of Earth's empire, but of unity. Earth never wanted control, but now the galaxy trusted. No one else. And Earth didn't ask for thanks. They didn't stay, they simply left back to their quiet system, back to the blue planet they were once exiled from. But their message remained. If you silence us, we will return stronger. Back in Vault 9, Admiral Freya stood alone. The war was over, but the journey had just begun. Commander Iran joined her. Will they remember what the Council did? He asked. Freya looked out at the stars. They won't have to, she said. They'll remember what humanity became instead. It had been 6 months since the fall of the Galactic Council, 6 months since Earth walked into the heart of power, and left without taking the throne. The galaxy had expected revenge, but Earth chose something else. Across star systems, people waited for Earth's next move. Would they take control? Would they build their own empire? But Earth sent no new orders, no demands. Instead, it sent a final message to every planet, every species, every voice. The message began with silence. Then came the voice of Admiral Freya. Calm, clear, final. You exiled us. You feared us, but we did not return to rule you. We returned to remind you the stars do not belong to the powerful. They belong to everyone. Then came a gift. Not a ship, not a weapon, but knowledge. Everything humanity had built in the Shadow's new energy systems, advanced medicine, clean water technology, artificial intelligence for peacekeeping, not for profit, not for control, for sharing it, was a final act of defiance. We were cast into the dark, Freya said, so we built light, and now we give that light to you. Across the galaxy, worlds that had suffered under the Council's greed began to heal. Desert planets grew crops again, sick colonies found new cures, even old enemies of Earth received help. No one was left out, because Earth remembered what it felt like to be forgotten. And just like that, the Ghost Fleet vanished from Council space. The silent army returned to the shadows. Earth's systems went quiet again. They had shown the galaxy their strength. Now they chose silence once more. In the far corner of the galaxy, a child on a small moon asked, "Why did Earth stop?" His grandmother, who had lived through the exile years, smiled and said, "Because they already proved everything." Back on Earth, Admiral Freya stood at the edge of the war deck. She looked up at the stars. bright, peaceful, no longer filled with fear. Commander Iran walked beside her. "They're free now," he said. Freya nodded. "No more rulers, no more silence." He paused. "Do you think they'll remember us?" She smiled softly. "They'll remember the choice we made." Earth had every reason to conquer, but it didn't. It had the power to burn the stars, but instead, it lit them and walked away. In the years that followed, a new council formed, not one built on fear or politics, but one of equals. Every species, every planet, every voice had a seat. It was not perfect, but it was fair, and at its center stood an empty chair, carved with Earth's symbol, untouched. It remained empty by choice, a reminder of the ones who were exiled, and returned not to take, but to give. Legends were told about Earth. Some said their ships still watched from deep space. Some believed the silent army was still out there, guarding those in danger. But no one truly knew, because Earth had returned to silence, and in that silence, they became myth. Not a myth of fear, but of hope, of strength held back, of power used with wisdom one day. A ship approached Earth, not a warship, just a small scout from a young species. They had questions they wanted to learn, and Earth opened its doors. No army, no warning, just a message. Welcome to the stars. The galaxy had changed, not through invasion, not through control, but through the actions of one forgotten world that refused to stay forgotten. And so the story of Earth became something more. Not a tale of war, but of choice, of rising from exile, and giving the galaxy a better path. Because in the end, humanity didn't return to rule the stars. They returned to remind the stars who they truly belonged to.